Okay, let me just admit this person and we start. Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to Time to Loud and Talk. And as you all know, we are in a recess time right now. And what most of us think about is how to survive, how to make it through the next day. And so people, to get off this craziness from their mind, they find solace or relief in food. And the fact is, the thing that we don't know, and the fact is, being stuck at home can make us to eat more and move less. So take me for an example. I find it so hard to focus while working from home, and as I have a big problem with my kitchen, and the pantry in my kitchen is always like is always calling my name because like my name is written all over my pantry door. So but when we keep eating, what we find, what we don't realize is, in as much as food is good, you understand, it's just affects our body in so many ways. So, and there's the possibility of developing long-term health condition when we keep eating without moving about or without exercising. So today, I have a very special guest who is here to give you an insight on how to eat well, stay well during and post lockdown. So let me introduce my guest to you. My guest is Modupe Aladenika Peter. She's a registered dietitian with over 16 years working in the NHS. She is a diabetes expert with vast experience working in hospital and in the community with the BME population, especially the Black African Caribbean. She's a member of the BDA and the Diabetes Specialist Group. She's one of the directors, and Modupe support the clinical content of the food for purpose models and material, as well as supporting workshops, seminars, training section. She is a conference speaker, and also she's an author, and she also has a blog. She's a blogger, and you can check out our blog, which is, the name of the blog is manpnutrition.blogspot.com. You can check her out on Instagram page, and you can also check her out on, she has a Facebook page that you can check her out on, and they'll find more information about what she does. So I don't want to be my guest mouthpiece because she has a lot to talk about today. So I'm going to open the floor for her to just do a little bit of introduction, tell you who she is and what she does, and then we go from there. And also, let me let you know the topic for today, as you all have seen in the flyer, is staying well, eating well during and post lockdown. So I have the pleasure of introducing to you Mrs. Modupe Peters. So you can take the floor.
Hello, everyone, and
Hello.
Thank you, Bukky.
Thank you, no problem.
For inviting me to your talk show. Yeah. So I'm really happy to be here. As you've said, yeah, I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a member of the British Dietetic Association here in the UK. I've been a dietitian for over 18 years now, but working in the specialist area of diabetes for over 16 years. I currently work in the NHS, and I have always worked in the NHS. I do freelance work as well, and I'm also one of the directors for Food for Purpose. So I'm really passionate about diabetes, especially Black, Asian, ethnic minority population. And as part of my role with Food for Purpose, we work with faith groups in Black, African, Caribbean population. So I'm really glad to be here today. And I think it's quite important for us to talk about eating well and keeping well, especially now with the lockdown and what is going on right now. So it's quite an important topic to talk about right now. So I'm really looking forward to the discussion, and I'm hoping more people will join in as well. And hopefully I'll be able to answer questions as we go along as well. So thanks again for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Modupe. Thank you so much. And you know what, let's go straight to the questions. My first question is, I read that our immune system do a remarkable job at fighting off foreign cells to protect us against illness. And also, as we get older, the general immunity reduces. So my question is, with the COVID-19 being around for a minute, are there any food that we can eat to boost our immune system? Can you explain on food that we can eat to boost our immune system in order for us to prevent ourselves from catching the virus or something like that?
Thank you. It's that is a very interesting question. I've come across that. I mean, WhatsApp, some interesting articles on the web as well about boosting immune system. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just delete that right now. There is no such thing about boosting. There's no such thing about a particular food or some foods to help to boost immune system.
Wow.
It's quite interesting. One way of trying to put that into context is using our car as an example. For example, it's just like, you know, your car is not in a good state and you decided you're just going to boost it up by, I don't know, filling it up with, I mean, it's just like trying to compare a new car that just come out of the manufacturers compared to a car that is like 10, 15 years old. You can't just boost a 15-year-old car just like that. So if you compare your body to that, you've got to look after your body. It's about looking after a body from onset. So eating well, a healthy, balanced diet would help to support and maintain our immune system. So we can't just boost it. It's not like a magic formula that you just take all the supplements, because that's what's been going around right now. I see so much on WhatsApp. Take this vitamins, take that vitamins, you help to boost immune system. We've got to be really careful. Yes, we need to eat a healthy, balanced diet. And what I mean by saying that is having different food groups. So here in the UK, for example, we talk about the 4 main food groups. We've got our fruits and vegetables, our starchy carbohydrates, bread, potato, yam, rice, our dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, as well as our protein-rich foods. So meat, fish, beans, lentils, pulses. We want to have a balanced diet, having the different foods in the right amount to help our body to function and supporting the immune system. When you have different foods in your diet, different foods, we have different vitamins and different minerals in them. Will provide the body with the energy it needs, with the protein it needs, so that everything is functioning properly. So it's not just about fixing things just like that. It's about making sure that we're doing things day in, day out to help provide the body with all the essential nutrients that it needs. Is it carbohydrate? Is it protein? Is it fats? Is it fiber? All the different vitamins and minerals. And the main vitamins that has been going on around, vitamin D, C, E, all of that would help to support the immune system. But if you're eating a balanced diet anyway, you will be getting that in your diet and you won't need necessarily to supplement. But we can always we'll talk about, I mean, we've got a few more, we've got time on our hands, so we'll be able to talk a bit more at length. But just to go back to that question that you asked me about boosting immune system, you can't boost your immune system. You can support and maintain your immune system, because I believe the right terminology, the right language is very important. Don't let anyone deceive you about saying eating a certain amount of food or having a particular food would help you to boost your immune system. It doesn't work like that. The body does not work like that.
Well, I'm really surprised to hear this, because there's a video that I saw on WhatsApp. And actually, this video was made by a person who, you know, a professional, she's a nurse, you know, and she said that if you cut the back of pineapple and maybe had some, what is it called, a lemon inside it, and you cook it for some time or something like that, and you drink it, that can boost your immune system. And this is coming from a nurse, you understand? So I'm like, with you now telling me that there's nothing that we can do or drink that will boost our immune system, I'm really surprised. So can you tell me more about, you know, when you cut the back of pineapple, if that can really work in boosting our immune system?
I think Bukky is quite important. Going back to what I said about supporting and maintaining, I think it'll be nice if you can use that word as well. We can boost it. It's not like an engine that's failed that you just want to boost up and just get up like that. It doesn't work like that. But yes, I saw that as well on WhatsApp about the pineapple. Pineapple is quite rich in vitamin C. So I get maybe that's where they're coming from. And I always have this thing, I'm saying, Why do you need to peel up the skin of the pineapple and boil it and then drink it and have whatever? Why can't you eat that pineapple? Eat the pineapple rather than boiling the skin of the pineapple. And then and one thing that I also saw as well, I think that was what I wrote in one of my blogs that I wrote about there was this bit about vitamin C helping to fight COVID-19 as well. So boiling the pineapple, adding lemon juice, adding other things that's got vitamin C in as well, and then drinking it. And I'm thinking, because when you look at the recommendation for vitamin C, it's saying 40 milligram a day. By the time you had all of that stuff together in a day, is already so much. And you don't want, and which was what I mentioned earlier briefly about having supplements. You don't want to be taking too much of a particular nutrient that the body's having to do extra work to then flush that out, because vitamin C, yes, is a water soluble vitamin. The body would just use what it needs and then flush out the excess. But why do you need, if you know better, why do you need to get your body to work extra hard flushing things out when it doesn't really have to?
Yeah.
Especially something that you don't really need to be taking in anyway, but because you've heard somewhere that is fine. And then on top of that, you're having vitamin C tablets as well, vitamin C supplements. When there's so many foods that are rich in vitamin C. You've got citrus fruits. Is it oranges, lemon, lime, peppers, the quite rich in vitamin C. Pineapple, we've said, they're rich in vitamin C. We get all of that foods. I mean, African foods, you use peppers to cook your stew anyway. So you've got a source of vitamin C in it. Most people eat oranges or drink orange juice. So you've got vitamin C coming in anyway. Kiwi is another fruit that is rich in vitamin C. Potato is rich in vitamin C. Some people, you have a range of foods anywhere in your diet. Broccoli, another food source, vegetables generally will be a source of vitamin C. So you've got that coming in already in your diet. Why would you then need additional supplement if you don't need to have it? Would be my question. Wow. So I'm going back to what I said earlier. A varied, balanced diet will get all of that sorted out for you. The only vitamin that we might need, especially in view of our dark skin, might be vitamin D.
Okay.
Especially here in the UK during the winter months, autumn and winter months, because we don't have, because vitamin C is actually called the sunshine vitamin, because the richest source of vitamin D is sunshine. So you get vitamin D from the sun, because the body will then metabolize it and then will make it available to the body. But there are also dietary sources as well. So that is the only vitamin that we might then need to have as a supplement, especially during the autumn and winter months, because we've got limited sunshine here in the UK. But in other parts of the world, especially if you're exposed to sun, you wouldn't need to take additional vitamin D unless your skin is covered, you're covering it, you're not exposing to sunshine, then, or for whatever is a religious or cultural reason that you're having to cover your body, then you might then need to take additional vitamin D. But key thing with all of this supplementation is to have a blood test done. Check your status. If you have a full check done regularly, is it every 6 months or once a year? Do a full, like you would do for a car. Here in the UK, we do MOT. And I believe some countries do that as well. You check your car. If you can look after your car, why can't you do likewise for your body? Do a full blood test. Check the status of everything, all the vitamin C level, vitamin D level, with vitamin C, maybe not particularly, but the fat soluble vitamin. You can check that and see what is happening in your body. Check all the things as well. Is it iron status, vitamin B12? Have a full blood test done. Check what is happening. And then if you then need supplement, you can then top up rather than blindly buying things over the counter and then having things that you don't necessarily need to have, because having too much of anything can do more harm than good for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I quite agree with you. See, you're giving me a lot of insights into what I've been watching on Instagram and WhatsApp, because when I saw the video of the back of the pineapple one, I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, is this possible? Can you still boost your immune system with the, drinking the back of the pineapple, So at least I've got my information right now. So I'm taking that with me. So thank you so much for that. And, so our next topic right now is, since now food is our solace, we find relief in food. And with us eating and everything like that, we are taking in calories, you understand? So, and these calories, they are not bad for us, you understand? Our body needs calories for energy. So with us eating and taking in calories, what are calories? Can you explain to us what calories are and how we can maintain our daily intake of calories?
Okay, calories. We say calories generally, but calories. What I guess what we refer to when we say calories is energy. But calories, we use it. I mean, nutritionists or even dietitians will say calories. I think most people would generally say calories, but calories are actually the measurement, is a unit of measurement of energy, which if we then want to use the right terminology, it's actually kilocalories.
Okay.
You will write it as KCAL or kilojoules. Some countries will use kilojoules, but we would use generally here in the UK, we'll call it calories. Calories basically in translation will be energy.
Okay.
But the unit of measurement is the kilocalories. So our energy requirement, so energy that is needed for every individual varies dependent on their age, their activity level, and their sex. And of course, whether they're overweight or not. So those are the baseline. That's what determines everybody's energy needs. But in terms of UK reference nutrient intake for energy, is about 2,500 calories for men and about 2,000 calories for women. Okay. And this is men and women aged between 90 to 50. When you're over the age of 50, energy needs comes down a little bit. So it's just about 1,900 for women over the age of 50 and about 2,300 for men over 50. But as I said earlier, your energy needs will depend on your activity level. And if you're already overweight, so that baseline of the RNI, which is a reference nutrient intake, which says about 2,000 calories for women, for example, and 2,500 for men, if you're already overweight, your aim should not then be to meet the RNI value, it would be to have less. So for example, since we're both women, we use women as our classic example. I always use myself as a classic example that I'm a woman, I'm still under the age of 50, so my energy needs will be about 2,000 calories if I'm going with recommendation. But I know that I do not need that amount of calories based on my activity level. So then my expectation would then be to have less, because if not, if I'm aiming for 2,000 calories every single day, I will put on weight.
Yeah.
And then there will be a problem, because as we put on weight, we have other, in terms of health related illnesses that tags along with that. And we want to prevent that. Type 2 diabetes will be a classic one, especially weight around the middle. So our aim, like I said, going back to your question, calories is energy, but energy in terms of requirement for individuals vary depending on their age, activity level, and their sex as well. So it's quite important, especially if you know that you're already overweight. For women, probably want to aim less, maybe for about 1,500 calories. It will be in terms of what you might want to aim for. And usually on packages, it will tell you the energy content of different foods will be provided on there. Or if you then struggle in terms of weight, speak to your health provider for them to refer you to someone that might be able to help you as well in terms of maybe do you need to lose weight or not. But that is basically what calories means, and in terms of expectation for individuals, really.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Well, in regards to, we are in a Western country right now. Let's take an example for people who are in Nigeria. And, with what we eat all this pounded yam and rice and beans. So how do we know the amount of calories to eat? Because most of the packages, even though they put a label or the number of calories on it, most of them, they are always are inaccurate. So how do we know what calories we're taking when we eat rice or pounded yam? How do we know about that?
I mean, that would be, we'll probably be here all day if we want to talk about that, but I'll just give you an insight, okay? Going back to African foods, I mean, Nigerian food, you've used Nigeria as an example. Yeah. Yes, all foods, unless it's water, all foods have got calories in them. Let's just establish that right from the onset. Unless it's, I don't know, lettuce leaves or carrots or something like that. So they might have very, very low calorie or very minimal calorie content. But
Yeah.
other foods that we eat, day in, day out, is a meat or fish, pounded yam, rice, amala. They
Yeah.
all have calories in them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The portion, the quantity that we have of them determine the amount of calories that we're consuming day
Yeah.
in, day out. And then when you then add fats to that mix. So for example, protein and starch. So protein foods like meat or fish,
Yeah. Eggs.
beans,
Yeah.
eggs,
Mm-hmm.
and carbohydrates is a yam or bread or sweet potato. In terms of calorie wise, weight for weight, protein and starchy carbohydrates have got similar amount of calories. So for example, a gram of yam would provide 4 grams and 4 kilocalories. So 1 gram yam, just a very teeny amount, will be about 4 kilocalories. Same with protein. Unlike fat, the palm oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, butter, margarine that we use to spread things, or cheese, for example, they double in terms of the amount of calories they have in them compared to protein and starch. Just to give you an illustration. So if you're having your rice, for example, quantity that you're having matters. If your rice is filling your whole plate and then you piling up with stew, that is going to be a very high calorie food that you're eating then, because especially if a lot of oil has been used to cook that stew. Then we have the meat or the fish on it. Okay. Compared to rice on a smaller plate, or you've reduced the portion of the rice on that plate, for example. And then you had some vegetables to it and your protein instead as well. So that would help balance things up. So quantity determines, without necessarily having to say we're going to use, because obviously we would need a tool, you need an information pack. But I guess if we then say, here in the UK, we've got information in most packages, unless it's African foods, Nigerian foods might not have detailed information, but they're working on that, because there's variation in terms of what information you get on one particular food to the other. But just to give, what you put on your plate determines the amount of calories done. Your average start plate that is full of food easily could vary between 500 to 700 calories already. And if we say we're aiming, if you're already overweight, we're aiming for about 1,500 calories. So you've already consumed half of your calorie intake in one meal.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're wanting to have 3 meals a day, ideally, that would be better, especially to help to manage weight and manage blood glucose level as well. It's quite important for meals to be regular, spread out evenly across the day. But what you're eating at one sitting goes a long way to determine your calorie consumption across the day. So portion control would be one way. If you didn't really want to use tools to help to measure, but if not, because there's so many calorie counters out there. There's a MyFitnessPal, or if you go online as well, but reliable sources as well is quite important. It's about getting the information out. But I know for purpose, I can see Shaloladipo is online as well. We're trying to work on some tools in terms of different, to work out the calorie content of some of our ethnic foods, which is quite important. There's some tools already available, but I think it's just bringing it down to basics, to food that is more common in Nigerian or African foods, really. But yeah, portion control is the key. There's nothing wrong with our food. So you said about all those pounded yam, rice. It's the quantity that people have on the plates that seems to be the issue, rather than the food itself.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And one other question is, like you said, reading the calories contents and everything like that, it takes time to do that, because especially when you go to this grocery store, you pick up a package and you start reading, okay, calories and energies, calories, and it takes a lot of time. So I want you to tell us, because there's some people out there who don't have the patience to read the calorie contents or whatever calories and carbohydrate in the what is it called, in the product that they get. I want you to tell them that if they exceed the amount of daily calories, what can happen to them in their body or something like that. I just wanted to just stress it out to them, so that people will know that even though it takes time to check the content of any packages or any food you're eating, if you don't take time to do that, this is what is going to result to.
I mean, it's it's not a direct link like that. Obviously, if you're eating too much, if you're having excess calories, there's direct link in terms of you put on weight, you gain weight. Yeah. And over time, if you keep putting on weight, and like I said earlier, especially right in the middle, your risk of type 2 diabetes increases. And we already know, because we're a Black African population, we're talking in this group already. Just being from that ethnic background, your risk of having type 2 diabetes goes up anyway. And your risk of having some cancers goes up as well with your weight. And when you look at the data that's coming out now, especially with COVID-19, it's showing that more people with obesity actually contacted the disease more than people that were not. Yeah. So your risk of having so many illnesses goes up as your weight goes up. Yeah. One other thing is arthritis, because if you're carrying a big body frame for your bone to then be able to carry you around, yeah, there is going to be a problem. Remember, these are things that gradually happens. It's not something that happens just like that. And this is what we said about doing something, being proactive about our health as an individual. You have to then individually want to do something about it, wanting to know more. Yes, we said about we couldn't all physically go into store, but if you're here in the UK, I'm just looking at my phone, there's the Food Switch app that you could scan. If you see a food item, you could use the Food Switch app and scan the products. It will tell you the calorie content if you're that keen and you wanted to know the products in terms of the information. Or the Food Scanner app as well. There's the Food Scanner app for those in the UK. I'm not sure if you work in other countries, but there's the Food Scanner app or the Sugar Smart app. You just scan it. If you've got a smartphone, just put it on the barcode. And be able to scan the product for you, and gives you the nutritional breakdown straight away without you read the packaging itself. Okay. But as we said earlier, just as a useful guide would be, think about what goes on your plate. Okay. What goes on your plate. So another tip would be, if you know you're already overweight and you proactively want to do something about it. So on your plate will be, you want to aim for half of your plate to be vegetables or salad. The remaining half of the plate, you want to split between your protein foods, is it your meat or your fish or chicken, and the remaining half of that plate, which will be, you've got half of the protein, and the half will be for your starchy carbs. So is it potato, rice, or yam, for example, would be what would then be on your plate. So be less protein and less protein and starch, but there'll be more. The bulk of your plate will be of the vegetable or salad.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for that.
That's another tip.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Well, as all our viewers ahead, if you're so impatient like me, when you go to the grocery store, you're so impatient to read the content on the back of your product, or the product that you're getting, there's an app for it. You understand? There's an app for everything that you need in this one. So don't be impatient. Get the app, scan it, and you get information of the calorie contents, the carbohydrate, everything that you need. So thank you so much for that information. Now let's go to my third question. And also, if there's anyone in the audience who wants to ask us a question, you're open. You can just type it in the chat room, or unmute yourself and just ask your question. So my third question is, with me going to the kitchen all the time, in order for me not to keep eating, you understand? So, because the thing is, when I keep going to the kitchen and eating, there's going to be a day that I will just bust. You understand? Because I'll be having a lot of, calories and everything in my body. So in order for me not to bust, and I just want you to just tell us what can I do in order for me not to be eating too much, or maybe if I want to eat something in between food. Is there any snacks that you can recommend in order for we can take instead of eating all the time? You understand? Maybe eating like 6 times a day or something like that. What can I eat in between lunch? You know, what snacks can you recommend for me to eat in between my lunch or in between my meal?
Ideally, we should just stick to our 3 meals in an ideal world. Not that ever exists. 3 meals, no snacks, especially if we want to maintain our weight. But I found, especially with this lockdown as well, yeah, you said earlier about your kitchen calling your name. Yes, mine was calling my name as well.
Wow.
Things have done a little bit.
So I'm not alone there.
You're not alone.
Okay, cool.
And I'm sure many people will relate to that as well. You're not alone. Okay. What I found that works for me, and I think I put it in one of my blogs, was having 4 small meals, and I think about 3 snacks. Can't remember exactly. So it was 4 small meals a day. Remember the plate guide that I gave earlier? Is keep into that plate guide. You can't fill your plate without everything going and expect to not burst. Yeah, you struggle to fit into that your nice skirt, your nice trousers if you just don't have control in terms of the portion. So what I found was 4 small meals and then some low calorie snacks in between. An example of low calorie snacks could be cucumber sticks or carrot sticks. You cut it up, have it with some pepper sauce or some hummus. So it's made with a lentil, so you could do something like that. Or what I also found to help was yogurt. You could do yogurt, low fat yogurt or Greek yogurt. You could have that as a snack. Corn on the cob. So you could have it grilled or boiled. Or those are quite handy as snacks because they're very low calories. Because if we say your total calorie intake for the day is about 15 because we're watching the weight, if you then fit in a very high calorie snacks in between, that's it. You're going to be exceeding your calorie intake every single day, which is why things like nuts might not be ideal because nuts are quite high in calories.
Okay.
Nuts quite high in fat, hence the higher calorie intake unless you want to do a teeny amount, maybe 4 almonds or 3 almonds. If you know you're going to be that self-disciplined or controlled, then you can do nuts. But if not, it won't be ideal. So we said about the corn on the cob or tinned corn, for example. The vegetable sticks, yogurt would be another one. There's some cereal bars. They're quite low calories. So if they're about 70, 90 calories, not the very high protein ones. The very high protein ones are quite high in calories. So you could do that. Prawns, you could have it boiled or grilled. You could have those. Seafoods generally can be low in calories if you're not having tons and tons of them. So prawns, you can have it grilled, add some peppers to it. There'll be, or chop up some peppers. There'll be nice handy snacks to have in between. So those would be quite handy. Thinking of other ones, those are the main. Fruits, that's it. How could I forget fruits? Imagine that. Fruits are generally very low calories. Okay. Chop them up into little pieces so they can go far. So do different fruits in a bowl. Berries especially are quite low calories as well. So raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, they're very low. Oranges, a range of fruit. Could be snacks that you could have in between. And those will be perfect. And they're quite filling as well. So just chop them up into little pieces.
Okay.
And there'll be handy snacks to have. So there's some examples because you can't, because if you force yourself to stop, especially if you're at home, especially with the lockdown, then you then reach for things that you shouldn't have, or you have more stuff when you do. And drinking is another thing, fluid, because sometimes we think we're hungry, but we actually just need to drink. So help drinking before a meal helps in terms of managing the hunger and managing the amount that you take in as well. So make sure you're always well hydrated. Make sure you're drinking constantly. So 7 to 8 cups of fluid a day will be the recommendation. It's about 1,500 to 2,000 liters a day will be what you'll want to, 2,000 mils, beg your pardon, 2 liters, 2,000 mils a day will be what you're aiming for fluid. But sometimes fluid, making sure you're on top of your fluid is quite key to helping to manage hunger as well. I'm managing, if it's boredom, it's managing that boredom as well. Think about other things that you could do. Could you go read, go out for a walk, do other activities instead of thinking about the kitchen and the food that is in the kitchen. If you come out of the environment a little bit would help to control that as much as possible, especially with the current situation that we're all in, practically all the world really, that would help.
Okay, good. You know what? I read one of your what is it called? One of your magazine, and which is a daily meal plan or something like that. So I was thinking, is it possible for you to? I don't know if you're gonna be able to do it. Is it possible for you to kind of like recommend a daily meal plan for us, like what we can eat in the morning for breakfast, then in between breakfast, and also for lunch and then dinner? Can you just recommend something that we can eat, maybe like just for a day? Can you do that for us, please?
I can give a guidance, but I can't really recommend because everyone's different in terms of their preference or what they like. Because with a meal plan, it will be a sample, would be an example, not that you have to stick to this.
Yeah,
Because everybody's
example.
preferences is different. I mean,
Yeah.
I might say, oh, I could have cereal, and someone will say, I don't eat cereal. I don't like cereal. And I might say, oh, bread will be fine. All grain seeded bread for breakfast. And I'm like, oh, I don't eat bread. I know a few people that say, oh, I don't eat bread. I won't have bread for breakfast. So it might be ogi with my for some people for breakfast, but it's quantity. So I can't do a sample meal plan for everybody. I mean, I could do a sample meal plan, but everybody would then have to use it with interpretation. You can't just say one art fits all. It doesn't work like that. It will be an example, a guide, a tool for you to use to plan your own that fits in with your preferences and your likes. And then you can work with that. But key thing, remember I said about the play guide. I think using the play guide, especially for the two main meals of the day, is a step forward. Even some people, because if you're going to have ogi and moi for breakfast, for example, you can then do two wraps of moi, you know, the ones on the leaves, and then a big bowl of ogi. That would be too much. And it's like, oh, I want to eat really well for breakfast, and then I won't eat anything for dinner. That won't be ideal. So 3 meals will be my guide in terms of have a breakfast, have lunch, have your dinner. Snacks only if it's absolutely necessary. If not, your 3 meals would be more than enough for you. If you then need snacks, use the low calorie options that I mentioned earlier. It's the fruit, vegetable stick, cucumber sticks, or carrot stick, for example, corn. Have those one as your preferred option as your in-between snacks if you do need to. But think about what goes on your plate at those 3 meal times. It's very important. Make sure half of your plate is mostly vegetables or salad. And everybody's preferences for vegetables is different. I might like Brussels sprouts and somebody prefers spinach. You know,
broccoli.
Which is why it depends on your preferences.
Yes.
But you can use that as a guide. Use the plate guide as your template. What goes on your plate in that sense. So it's quite important. So portion control. Make sure you're eating regularly, having snack if you absolutely need it, and make sure that you're active. Activity is very important.
Is the key.
You've got to be active.
Okay, good. Okay, good. And you also mentioned that fruits are very low in calories, but I heard somewhere that fruits like grapes that is very high in calories. Can you attest to that? What is it called? Grape, are they very high in calories?
Most fruits are generally low in calories. Grapes is not one of the high calorie fruits, unless you're eating a whole punnet. I mean, here in the UK, they come in unless you're eating a whole punnet of grapes, then there might be a problem. And that comes down to the portion again. But some fruits are high in calories, yes. Avocado is a classic example. Avocado, because of its fat content, has a higher calorie content compared to other fruits. A banana would be another example of fruit that would be slightly higher in calories compared to other fruits again, but that would be a very large banana, really, in that sense. For most fruits, they're generally under 100 calories. Orange, for example, one piece of orange is about 40 calories, even a big one, which is quite low compared to a biscuit. One biscuit would be much higher than that. And that is why we're putting back into context. Everything needs to be put back into context. Fruits generally are very, very low calorie. And obviously, quantity matters as well. You can be having a large bowl of fruit or a whole watermelon. Whole watermelon is a classic example. You have, fruit is very good for me. I have a whole watermelon, you know, the big watermelon, and then go, I'm doing really well. And no, that would be a bit overdoing it. So it's just thinking about the quantity. But generally, if you're saying a handful of grapes, so portion guide, here in the UK, we're saying at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day. That could be like 3 or 4 fruits and 1 vegetable, but that is the minimal intake. You could have more, but that is the minimal recommendation. So a guide would be a handful of fruits would then be your guide. So you can't go too wrong with a handful, and they will still be low calorie compared to one digestive biscuit, for example, much lower.
Okay. And when you mentioned banana, like how many banana can one take in a day that will not, be too much? You understand? So is it like one banana a day? Is that too much? Or maybe you cut it into half and then eat one half, you know, in a day, and then maybe the next day you keep it, which I don't think that's realistic anyway. To keep it.
Put a little bit of the banana every now and again. No, you could have unless there is a problem. Bananas generally are high in potassium. They're one of the high potassium food sources. But having 2-3 banana a day would generally be a problem if you don't have high potassium level. If there isn't a problem already. Okay. So we could then say 1 banana a day and all the fruit. So you could have up to 3 portions of fruit a day. So 1 small banana, 1 piece of apple, 1 piece of orange, and vary across, the next day like that, and have it. So it could be 1 banana every day, for example. Unless, like I said earlier, there is a reason why you can't have it.
Okay.
This is why, remember when we started earlier about doing regular checks.
Yes.
To check how things are going. What is your kidney function like? What is, everything else in your body like? Thyroid level, everything, your liver function, your kidney function, everything needs to be checked. It could just be as minimal as once a year. But know what they have, not someone telling you, oh, you can't have bananas. Bananas are not good for you. You want to then ask them why, rather than just taking whatever it is that they're saying as the Holy Grail. Find out why. Why couldn't you have whatever it is that people are telling you that you couldn't have? Even doctors, I would ask, if a doctor tell you couldn't have this, find out the reason why, rather than restricting your diet unnecessarily or having things that you shouldn't have. It was interesting. One of those WhatsApp messages that was going around, I mean, it's kind of reduced now, not so much, but a few weeks back, it was one that I saw, this so-called doctor saying, apple is quite high in iron. And I'm like, I had to check myself a bit and go, okay, which bits of book that we need to go and read up again about apple being a source of iron? And it's quite interesting. He was a doctor. It was written on this video that was shared on WhatsApp. And people will see that and think, oh, does that mean I could, apple? Yeah. And it isn't. Apple is not a source of iron. But it's quite interesting. He put it across nicely and people will go and believe him. So always ask questions if you're not sure. Make sure it's reliable source of information that you're tapping into. Ask questions just to make sure that you're well informed. So you're making your decision on accurate information.
Yes. And that's the main reason why we're here today, because a lot of people have been passing information about, making a video and giving information that are so inaccurate to people, you understand? So that's the main purpose of us having this conversation today, so that you can educate people and people can know what to take during this lockdown and everything like that. So like I said earlier, I just want to thank you again so much for coming here. So let's go back to, we don't have questions from our audience yet, and we're waiting on them. But while we're waiting, let me ask you this question. Even though I think this is pertaining to doctors, but I just want you to just give me, maybe you might have a little bit of experience in it. I read that maintaining a healthy lifestyle while in lockdown could boost a chance of fast recovery should one contact the COVID-19. Can you explain to us in details? Maybe you have experience of it or something. Can you explain to us in details in regards to that?
Sorry, I didn't get that question. What was the question?
The question is, it says maintaining a healthy lifestyle while we are quarantined or while in lockdown, it could boost a chance of us recovering very quickly, just in case we someone contact the COVID-19, the virus. Okay, is there any truth to that? Can you explain to us in details in regards to that? Do you understand my question?
No, Bukky, I still don't understand your question.
Okay, like when you maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
I understand. When you maintain a healthy lifestyle in lockdown or while we are quarantined, that could boost a chance of fast recovery just in case someone contact the COVID-19 virus.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean now. Sorry, I don't know, my brain must be fancy or something. Yes, I mean, it's just goes down to what we've been saying about maintaining. If you're in lockdown and you're eating well, you're exercising, you're going out. I mean, I've been contacting some of my patients over the phone, and sometimes I don't get hold of them. I've been told, oh, they've gone out for walk. They do 1 hour walk. And that takes discipline, and you want to do something. You're eating well, even in spite of everything going on around you. You're helping to maintain and support your immune system. If that is already there in the background, if you then have whatever infection, okay, in this instance we're talking about COVID-19, but it gives your body the added incentive that it needs to help you to fight whatever infection that your body is going to face, really, because you've got your all your blood cells, they're functioning well. You've got good levels of vitamin D. You've got good levels of different minerals. There's a vitamin E, zinc level. Everything else is working really well. It gives your body a good chance of fighting that infection. We're not saying, oh, you recover necessarily, whatever, as long as there's no other comorbidities, because you have to consider that as well. Because it's not just about, oh, everything is fine in your body, but is there any other underlying factors, or the underlying risk factors that might not give you a better chance of recovery? But we don't know that. But you want to do the best that you can in terms of making sure that you're maintaining your overall health. Because then it gives your body the better incentive to be able to cope with whatever it is that it needs to. Because what happens with infection is the body, the cells get attacked by whatever this infection is. Or is whatever stores that it acts that it would help to deal with it. So it gives you chances of coping much, much better. And that's what we want to be able to do. You want to do the best you can. Eat well, drink well, exercise well. And that helps you much better to cope.
Okay, good. Well, we just for me to ask you another question now, because I was hoping we're gonna get questions from our audience, but maybe they're typing. Well, we see. And do you have any information that you want to pass out to our audience just for them to know?
Oh yes, I definitely would love to talk about food for purpose.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Because I mentioned earlier about food. I mean, not probably go into it because I just said I was one of the directors for Food for Purpose, but it's a health and well-being organization, and we serve the BME faith groups and communities. And we also have a program called Healthy Church Initiative Program. I think you've got the website for Food for Purpose. So I would ask people to go on our website, Food for Purpose website, to find out a bit more information about the Healthy Church Initiative. It's a 6-week program that we're running. We run in churches. It's something that we can run in communities as well. But we're a faith group organization, and we would come out to churches and run it, or to community and run the program as well. So do get in touch with us for those that are interested. Food for Purpose. Have you got that? Did you have that up?
Yeah. Yeah, we got it all. Yeah, but we're gonna give out the information later, and also
so it's a healthy lifestyle program. So we encourage, we help people, we support people, and we do online. It's not just face to face. We can run the program online. It's a 6 weeks program. We actively encourage and support people, especially churches. So we want for church leaders to get in touch with us to help in terms of supporting and providing information for people to maintain healthy lifestyle. That's the key role in terms of what we do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, and for letting us know about the Food for Purpose. So you got the information there. So if you need to contact them, we're gonna put the contact information on our Facebook page, so you can contact them if you want them to come to your church or your events and talk about eating healthy and everything like that. So they are open to that. So any more things you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered mostly. But I guess one thing I like to put out there is,
if I want to chat, how do I chat?
I think someone's got a question.
I think I heard someone say something. Okay, go ahead. Maybe the person.
Yeah, I think it's just to reiterate in terms of the supplements, because there's so much going on about it. And I just want to tell people, don't just go blindly buy supplements if you're not sure that you're going to need to take those supplements. Find out, speak to your doctor, go have a blood test done to check. Don't just go and take vitamin D supplements without, or iron supplements without having a blood test done. It's quite important because overdose can be harmful. You can do more harm than good if you're taking supplements that you don't necessarily need. So find that first. Don't just go on the bandwagon and just buy supplements, please, please. Because that's just my fear, because especially with everything going on and you read about, oh, vitamin C, vitamin D. I've seen so much on so many forums. Vitamin C, like I said, is water soluble. The body will try and flush it out. Well, there was one particular one I saw about taking 1,000 milligram of vitamin C. That is way too much. Recommendation here in the UK is only 40 milligram. Imagine 40 to 1,000. That is so excessive. And as we said earlier, there's so many fruits that we eat day in, day out that's already got vitamin C in it. So we don't necessarily need vitamin C tablets unless you absolutely need to. And then if you're then going to need it, take a smaller dose, not a massive mega dose that your body will then struggle. Because at the end of the day, you're putting your kidneys under a lot of strain to flush this out. And this long-term can damage our kidneys. So please, 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 don't just take supplements without any advice whatsoever. Please, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. One other question is, as we are in lockdown right now, I mean, the lockdown is easing up anyway. So, but the gym, they're not open still, so, and which I believe they're going to be opening. So, but in the meantime, before they open, what kind of exercise can you recommend for people who are quarantining at home? What exercise can you recommend for them to do at home instead of, going to the gym to exercise?
Oh, there's so many things we can do at home. I've said about walking earlier. You can go out for walks. Could you do something inside? Dancing. I dance in my kitchen when I'm cooking. Could you do squats or sitting exercises, stretches? You could use your bottles for weights while you're sitting, stretching exercise. There's so many things depending on your ability and flexibility. I sent you the article by one of our physical activity lead. There's something we could share as well.
Yeah,
so you could
see
do
that.
so many things, going up and down the stairs, if you're able to. So many things that you could do. Break it up into 10 minutes each, depending on whatever you can do really. But it's fine. It's starting slow. If you're not already doing some activity already, start really slow and build it up. But just walking. If you've got a living room, you can walk up and down your living room area. If you've got garden, walk up and down, or go for long walks, or running, or jogging. But remember, depending on what your ability is, what your physical activity level is, because if it's not something that you've always done, start off slow and steady and build up, really, because no activity is a waste. But it's building, find something, which is why I say for me, I enjoy dancing when I'm cooking, because I might spend 1 hour in that kitchen cooking, but moving around a bit more than just watching the pot boil or cooking my stew. Doing that extra bits there while I'm cooking goes a long way.
Wow.
But it's making that conscious effort to want to do extra every day. It goes a long way.
Okay. So just for our viewers to know, if you don't want to go out to exercise, you can do so many activities in your home. You can take the stairs maybe about 3 times a day or something like that. Am I correct on that?
As much as you can, as long as you're not, going out of breath.
Yeah.
And the body's not aching.
Yeah.
And you're not struggling to do it. Or do you want to take a rest while you're doing?
Yeah. And you can also dance. I dance to gospel music or whatever, hip hop, rap. You can dance to that, So there's so many things that you can do if you really don't want to go outside. You understand? Because some people are like, I don't want to be in contact with someone so I don't get, infected with the virus and everything. So if you don't want to go out, that's no problem. Stay in your house and exercise and make sure that the food you eat them all in portion. Don't just take everything in, because at the end of the day, it's going to tell on your body, you understand? So Modupe, you have been so, I mean, coming here, talking to you, it has really opened our minds to so many things. And I just want to say thank you so much. And I can't believe it's almost 1 hour that we've been talking, you understand? And we've got a lot of information from you, you understand? So thank you so very much. And I just want you to just think, what can you tell our audience in this difficult time that we have, to just encourage them, to just bless them with any word that you think that comes to your mind? What can you tell them, to just boost their, not their immune system, but just to boost up their, what will I use? Maybe their energy, their zeal to continue to keep on going in life, you understand? Because the state where we have right now, you can see what is going on all over the world, riots over here and everything. What can you tell people? What advice, what word can you leave with our audience?
I think for me, it would be taking it one day at a time. I think this is a time to come closer to God, and just taking it one day at a time. We shouldn't beat ourselves up if things don't necessarily go the way we want just one day. Pick yourself up the next day and keep going. Keep going. Never give up.
Yes.
Never, never, never give up.
Yeah.
I think for me that would be what I would like to put out there, really. Yeah. Never, never, never give up.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Modupe. Thank you. We really appreciate you coming here. And you've heard, never give up. Just keep going. And one thing is, you gotta believe in God. You understand? Because God works in a very miraculous way. You understand? So you have to believe in Him, because without Him, we can't do anything. So you've heard it from her. You're hearing it from me. Just believe in God. And I want to thank you so much, our viewers, for tuning in and watching our show. And if you have any question, I'm gonna put our information of what is it called, our blog details, Instagram details, Facebook details on our Facebook page. You can contact her maybe on Instagram by sending her a DM, or Facebook, send her a PM on Facebook, and also check out our magazine. Check out our blogs, and also check out the Food for Purpose magazine. Just read about it, and you're gonna get more information in regards to it. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you coming here. Thank you so much to our audience. God bless you all. It's been a wonderful time, having this show with you. I really appreciate you. Thank you. All right, and have a good one.
You too.
All right, bye. Let's see.